Hi everybody, I'm Jim and welcome to the channel. Today I'm just going to take a quick look at two knives that I've recently acquired. If you've seen the unboxing video, you know that I've recently picked up a Dark Timber OG 1911 and I've also picked up Russo Steel Worx Huntsman. Now I figured I'd do a single introduction for these knives, but I'm going to have two separate videos. So depending on which video you're watching, you'll be able to catch the other video up here. The reason I'm going to do a single intro for these knives is because, as you can see, they're both about the same size, and they are both under 5-inch blade. And if you've seen my my backpacking knife video, which again, if you haven't, you can catch it here. If you've seen my backpacking video, you know that, at least for me, a primary backpacking knife has to be at least 5 inches long. And these both fall short of that. So both of these knives are what I would consider to be in the companion blade category. That is to say, if you're going out in the backcountry where if something happens, you need you need a knife that's going to help you survive the night or survive many knives. My opinion is that for that type of knife, it should be at least a 5-inch blade. To me, a companion-sized knife is that knife that you carry with you along with another primary cutting tool. So if you're carrying an axe, this type of knife is great. If you're carrying a saw, again, this type of knife is great. If you've only got one bladed tool that you're carrying, well then I think for backcountry travel, I really prefer 5 inches or above. But that said, for me, these are going to make great knives to fish with if I'm doing a day trip out on a river. This is the kind of size knife that I want to carry. If I'm doing a day hike, like in a local park or something, this is the size knife that I would carry if I wasn't carrying a larger knife. So what I'm going to do today is just my basic knife test. Any knife that I acquire that I'm going to take with me hiking or fishing or in the backcountry, even if it's a companion knife, I want to understand how it behaves working wood and whether or not I can spark a ferro rod off of it. So that's what we're going to do with each of these knives today. Let's get to talking about each one individually. The Russo Steel Worx Huntsman is made by Matt Russo. He's a custom knife maker out of Georgia. The Russo Huntsman is 9 1/4 inches long. It's got a 4 1/2 inch blade with a 4 1/4 inch cutting edge. The handle is black G10. The steel is 1084, and it is 1/8 of an inch on the spine. For me, and the knives that I typically carry, 1/8 of an inch is really thin. When I first got the knife, I had a quick discussion with Matt around what his purpose was and why he made the knife, and what he was saying pretty much lined up to my initial impressions. So again, this is the kind of knife that I would want to take with me, if I was hunting, if I was hiking, if I was fishing. So when I was talking to Matt, those were some of the applications that he had in mind as well. He made it thin specifically so that it would be useful around camp. So if you're if you're preparing food and you're cutting cheese or you're cutting vegetables, it's nice to have a thin slicey knife to do those tasks. So anyway, I'm going to do a quick use test, see how it does splitting wood, do a little carving with it, and see if it sparks a ferro rod. Frankly, I don't expect it to spark a ferro rod. The spine is not very sharp, but we'll see what happens. With the 1/8 of an inch edge here, this is not the kind of knife that you're going to use to to split huge logs with. If you needed to cut into a larger log, you would of course you would cut the log from the sides and take small pieces off the side. However, hopefully it will be okay splitting a piece of wood that's this thick. This is maybe 3 1/2 inches. Should be okay. It's not too, doesn't look too knotted, so I'm not too concerned about it, bending the steel. And you can see this piece of wood is probably, just at what would be the max for something like this. At 1/8 of an inch thick, this is not what the primary use for this is going to be. but I do want to see how it performs. Now the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to start hammering back on the handle here. So I've got about 3/4 of an inch and into the tip that's out, and I'm just gonna put pressure on it and keep hammering. Now it's got a sharp tip, and you can see the tip is really taking pieces out of this wood. There we go. Bink. Cool. No issues? Let's see. What do I think I want to do with this? I think I will take this piece here. Now, here's something that I don't do well, but this knife should probably do pretty well. And that is Featherstick. Yeah, it takes nice thin curls, it's nice and sharp. This is definitely not my forte. But a thin slicing knife like this makes it look easy. Cool. Okay, let's give it the Fatwood test. Now again, I don't expect this to spark a ferro rod, so I'll be pleasantly surprised if it does. Let's do this. Okay, that's more than enough. Let's see. Ratty old ferro rod. Oh yeah. Get a few sparks off of that. Okay. Huh. Let's see if I can get something consistent. I'm not going to get anything consistent that way. Okay, I'm getting some sparks, but I'm not getting what I would like. Okay, getting a few sparks, but they're not really hot enough to get that fatwood going. So I'm going to say that's a no. At least with this particular knife and this particular ferro rod. Maybe with another ferro rod, I might do better. One of the things about this knife is it is extremely comfortable. Matt is known for his comfortable handles, and I tell you, in the different positions, this has been really comfortable. Let's do some carving. Thing really bites. There you go. Cool. You know, with a knife like this, it's really a shame that I can't show how it performs skinning an animal or cleaning fish, filleting fish, you know, prepping food at camp. I think that's where this would really shine. If you're, you know, if you like a nice thin bushcraft knife, you know, this would do well in that regard. So yeah, that's the Russo Huntsman. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, so decided to do a little food prep. I am not a cook. I don't know how to cut this stuff. So you guys can make your own assessment, but I don't know. That's pretty thin, slicey tomato. I don't know if I can crush it, but anyway, that's probably not right, but that's how I would cut a tomato. Let's see, I'm gonna persimmon here, which is in the fridge and is not ripe. If it was ripe, it would just pop right out, but it's not ripe. I don't know. Is that what you would expect a slicey food prep knife to do? Looks pretty good to me.